Hello everyone, today I am messing around with candles because I have some of these UCO candle lanterns from Seattle, Washington. These are great little candles, I enjoy using them. There is only one problem. If anyone has ever had these before, you may well know, especially potentially outside of the States where it may be cheaper. I haven't checked, to be honest. These little candles, these little things, they're only the size of my finger. These are for us £3 each. The cheapest I can get them is on Amazon, and with Prime, so not having to pay delivery, and they are £9 for 3, or £8.99 at the moment to be exact. They're great candles and they last for like 10 hours in this little kind of unit here, but it's expensive. So what I did is I had a look, and actually on Amazon I did find these things here, which are chapel candles. Now these absolute whoppers here, we can get 5 of these from this. So 5 of these can be cut out from this. Obviously there's a bit of work to be done, but that's kind of half the fun. And I got 2 boxes of 8. I got my little notes here. 2 boxes of 8 for £37.46, which is for each candle. Then it cost just an over £2.34, which means that if I cut them into 5 different candles, and I can cut one of them into exactly the kind of right thing. I've got to remember the cameras, they're exactly the right thing. The other 4 that I get are just slightly lower, not much at all, and I'm just going to have to chisel off a little bit just to get the wax out of there. Sorry, the wick out of there. But we will, you know, it's something to keep me off the streets. So I can get 5 of them. That means there will be 47 pence each. 47 pence! And because they're chapel candles, they should work quite well. So whilst we're doing this, I have a couple of lanterns here, and this one here, in fact, I'm just going to have to trim this one because it's the first time that I've used that one in this particular. I've actually completely unused this one. This one's been well used and battered, but this one I've never used before. I just got another. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I doubt you can see that, I'm just going to trim. Oh dear! I'm just going to trim the candle. It meant to do that. And the candle, basically, if you don't know UCO candles, they're kind of sprung loaded. So if I undo this, it's a springy spring that pushes down on a plate, and that little plate there ends up keeping the candle at the top here, and you know, just keeps on burning and gives out a nice bit of heat. And it has a little plate at the top, and this radiates some really good heat for sure from a single candle. Really useful when you're camping. And it has a little glass kind of slidey deal here. Again, I'm not sure if I'm getting it on camera. Has a little glass kind of deal. Hang that up in your tent. Woohoo! All lovely. But what we're going to do is we're going to light these 2, just so whilst I'm showing you today what I'm doing and how I'm cutting them, because in order to cut them, I've tried a few different ones. I've gone through half of this box so far, and I've kind of worked out what the best way is for me, and that's using a foam cutter that I have borrowed off my son, who uses it to cut foam for little projects and things. So I've got all the gear here. Let's just start off by lighting these. Where's my little lighter gone? Oh, right in front of me. So we're going to light these here, and we'll get these kind of going. Just so it's we've got a nice bit of ambience. This one's only been burnt a little bit, but that's the whole point. It doesn't matter how long or short your candle is, it will always be pushed to the top, basically. So you'll always kind of end up, you know, getting a consistent flame. And if you bring this up here, then everything should be a lot more stable inside there, flame-wise and air-wise, and it kind of, you know, draws the air in and does a good job. So yeah, these are the 2 candles. Let me have a quick check on camera. If I just touch the old button there, yeah, you can just about see what's going on. But this is what I want to show you. I want to show you what I do, because maybe you've got a little, I'll put my notes away, maybe you've got a little better way of doing this, but this is the way that I've been doing it. And this is out of, I think, 2 candles I've done today. I've only kind of got this amount of mess out of it, so it's been pretty good. But we're going to make some candles, and yep, they're not pure white. The beeswax version of these are even more expensive. Absolutely ridiculous. Stupid money. I'm sure they smell lovely, and I think, did they do a citronella one maybe? I'm not sure, but anyway, seriously, if you ever want to buy me a present, buy me some posh candles. But I'm going to deal with these ones here. These are my £2.34 a piece church candles, and all I do is I take this little foam kind of cutter thing, which has like just a wire that's under a resistive load, will heat up, of course, and you've got to be a little bit careful because it could touch the table, or but this bit doesn't get too hot. I'm going to switch it on and give it a few moments just to kind of heat up, and then all I do is I kind of take the UCO candle and I kind of measure it against this. They are 30 centimeters in diameter, sorry, 30 millimeters in diameter, so 3 centimeters in diameter, and so they kind of fit in perfectly, and they seem to both be giving, you know, a similar flame. This one's only just started, so, but this one looks a bit bigger, maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really bothered timing them. They both last a long time, so I haven't bothered doing like a side-by-side test or anything. Just seems a bit irrelevant. I just want them to work. But if I line these two up, then all I've been doing is just taking a little bit of a pen and board marker and just putting a little mark there, and let's just see what I do. Now, what I was doing to start with is I was kind of pushing this through and turning it around, which I'm going to do, but I was trying to get towards the center where the wick is, and when this hits the wick, it kind of sticks to it, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get out. But I realized that you don't need to go that far. We just need to get kind of in there. So what I end up doing actually is I hold it vertically and hold this kind of horizontally, just so I can put this in, and very quickly, as long as I'm using the full length of the wire, I can just start turning, and slowly the candle rotating, moving side to side with this little thing. I've now gone all the way around once, and now I'm going to just put a little bit of extra pressure on there, a little bit of extra pressure just to kind of get to the middle, or near the middle, and then sometimes it needs a little bit of time, and I go round, and I go round, and I go round, and when I think I'm nearly there, and the whole thing seems to be going in and out pretty well, then I'm just going to remove this, and then I'm just going to give it a little twist, 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 and there we go. We're all the way through, and we've got a nice flat candle. So I just take off a few crumbs off this, and then all I've done, now this twists around here, is I just kind of rotate it and find out which way it wants to open the easiest, and I kind of get that. It opens very slightly. I get a little scalpel blade, and then all I do is I just cut it open, and here I am with a UCO size candle that is made from a chapel candle. So it's hopefully as simple as that. So do that. We'll just do another quick one here. So I'm left now, I should be left with 31 centimeters or 310 milliliters, and that's what it does every time. So therefore I can just take my little pen, and I can do my 15.5 centimeters, bam. And I've done this a few times today, but get my lid on the pen, don't let it dry out, and then I can start this all over again. And again, I don't know how long this takes. Maybe I should time it. In fact, I could just work it out from the video, couldn't I? I could just work out how long it takes. So just gently trying to keep one vertical and the other horizontal. I'm now all the way round. I'm just now letting it just push in a little bit, and then it's going to get to the end. Now, there's obviously a few fumes now and again. If it came towards me, I'd go, but I do have a fan running and a window open when I'm not videoing, so I'm going to be opening that up in a minute. There we are, nice and hot and lovely. Twist, 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 and there I am. I have got myself, and that twisting action as you do it, if I was slightly off then, everything was slightly off, it just kind of just pulls it all back together again. You can see that this area here is where it will open up the most, and then all I do is I just cut that through, and now I'm halfway there. So it's not perfect, but it's going to get there. And in the end, what I'm producing is a whole bunch of cheap candles, but good quality candles because they're chapel candles. And as we can see from these two, they both seem to be burning quite well. It would be interesting to see when the UCO one has kind of gone through the first little stage. I'll hold these up for you in a second. The first little stage where it oops, daisy, where it you know, it's kind of like got the cone shape at the moment. Once it gets down off there, it'd be interesting to compare the two sides of the two flames, because this one at the moment is much smaller, but it's definitely giving off some heat. I'm just going to switch this off for now because I can do that in a little bit. But yeah, it pumps out a good bit of heat, and of course this is something that you could, if you were very careful and looking after it, have in your tent. And that's been a problem I've had, because when I was doing the last camp, you can go and check out the video in the DPM Dutch tent. What I had in there was a problem, which was I couldn't hang anything up because there's no hooks in there. So I could kind of like sew in a hook, but what I did buy recently, let me just go and find that out for you. Let's just got this from Temu, which is a little kind of magnetic hook deal where it's quite strong magnets, you place this part on the outside of the tent, place this on the inside of the tent, and then you've got a little bit of a hook there. So the plan is to find out if, when I'm having a camp, if this here, I'm holding it only by the top section, so we'll have to see if it gets through the material itself. In fact, we could do that as well. Why don't we do that? So we've just got a little pouch. So this little pouch here with all this rubber inside is way thicker than the tent material that I've got. But if I was to place these kind of things either side of it here, this would kind of simulate what my tent might be like. Ow, that got hot, didn't it? Ooh, free burn for everyone. And if I hook this on here, does this kind of take the weight through the fabric? It does, and I can, well, I'm giving that a good tug there, and again, that's not going anywhere. So I could have that inside the tent, obviously supervised, and see if anything, because I can feel the heat radiating off this little kind of metal plate here, so it definitely is going to give off something, but maybe that'll just kind of like tip it over in my tiny little tent and make a little bit of a difference. But of course, at £3 a candle, £3 a candle, even if you get a whole night's worth out of it, you know, that's quite a lot of money. So yeah, invest in some church candles and see if you can get them on offer, because this box here next to now as such, these are 400 milliliter. Oh, I'm losing my mind today. 400 millimeters. Maybe it's the fumes. 400 millimeters in length, so 40 centimeters. I'll translate for the rest of you mad people. And obviously 3 centimeters, 30 mil wide. So that's a lot of wax for the money, but quality wax. We're not talking about any of this kind of crappy stuff. These are good quality, don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's a massive difference between them in price. So yeah. Give it a go. Obviously there's not a little stopper here at the bottom, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem because it's on a metal plate being pushed up. So far so good. I don't see a major issue. There we are. If you've got a UCO candle holder, they're great. Or tell me if you don't like them, or tell me if you've got any other use for them. But basically I think a cheap candle is better than a more expensive one. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Click all the buttons if you just like random stuff and camping and going out for a walk and all of this lot. If you really want to know, electric foam cutting tools kit by Go Change. I don't know, whatever. He got it as a present at some point. It's my kid's stuff and I'm ruining it for him. This little scalpel thing, if you didn't see this before, this is the Optical R2 from Olight, which is fantastic. You can put a little scalpel blade on here. This is your key ring, and you can have these locked, these little two sides. You can have just one side open and then both sides open. You can have this on your key ring, and you've always got a little scalpel blade for making candles at any point. And also I used the Olight OKS2, which is one of my favorite multi-tools. So big up Olight, sponsor me, you buggers. No. Yeah, they can only do that if you subscribe, so do it. I'll stop talking. See you later. Bye.